There we go. Good afternoon. For those on the field, I understand it's really hot, but if we could please, on the field, close the umbrellas for the benefit of those behind you. I do feel the sun as well, so I understand the need for them, but if we could just close them on the field, please. I would ask that everybody please stand for our national anthem, performed by seniors of the Chamber Singers, Joshua Jerome Taylor, Vaishnavi Gudala, Marin James, Samantha Mira, Cameron Noonan, McKenna Russo, Eva Tibbetts, and Jensine Wagner.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. You may be seated. Superintendent Dr. Eric Conti, School Committee Chair Mr. Thomas Murphy, staff, parents, families, friends, and especially the class of 2021, welcome to Burlington High School's graduation ceremony. I'm always honored to be here today, and it really is my privilege to preside over this ceremony, today even more so. After the year we've had, it feels wonderful to be here together, gathered to celebrate the class of 21. Looking out to see so many maskless faces, which seemed like an impossibility until recently, it really is exciting to actually see everybody again. The class of 2021 will receive their diplomas today, which will mark your achievement of graduating from Burlington High School. And let me be the first to tell you, congratulations. You will always be remembered for persevering through this difficult year. The strength and character you have all displayed during these challenging times has been remarkable to watch. And let me tell you, I'm certain that on the other side of this adverse situation, you will be stronger and more resilient than ever before. I'd like to recognize the faculty who are here with us today for all they have done, all the extra hours and countless times they've gone above and beyond to support students in Burlington. They're the definition of true professionals. Thank you for providing the support and guidance that has fostered the success of our graduates over the years. I'd also like to honor someone who's not with us today, Miss Abigail Abbott. Miss Abbott was a world language teacher at Burlington High School, and she was a friend, colleague, mentor, coach to many. She unfortunately passed away this year to cancer, and I'd like now to take a moment of silence to remember Miss Abbott. Thank you. I'd also like to give a little bit of extra thanks to two particular staff members who are retiring this year. Mrs. Joanne Vino, whose daughter told me she is someplace up on the fence, someplace, not here. She will be retiring, and she's been a staple at Burlington High School since 1997. And to also Miss Deacon, our associate principal, who, Miss Deacon, I believe is right there in the back. Hello. Both Joanne and Deb have impacted the lives of thousands of students and staff over the years. Deb and Joanne will be deeply missed at Burlington High School, and I know you'll join me in wishing them that their retirements are filled with much happiness and joy. I'd also like to thank all of you, the families that are here today, who trusted us with your children, not just these past 4 years at Burlington High School, but since you embarked on this journey 13 years ago. Members of the class of 2021, please take time to thank your loved ones today, or anyone who has supported you for the sacrifices they have made and for the encouragement and guidance they have given you over the years. Class of 2021, you will be missed. You have certainly set yourselves apart and continued the tradition of excellence at Burlington High School. It's been my privilege to be with you these last 4 years. You will leave a lasting mark at Burlington High School. We were privileged with your incredible academic achievements, outstanding athletic accomplishments, talented musicians and actors, so many gifted artists. The list of your accomplishments could go on. However, please know that you are much more than a list of accolades. You have been a group that has proven to be kind and compassionate, always willing to help others, and always pulling together for our school and community. These attributes will undoubtedly propel you to continue to do great things. Wherever your future leads you, I look forward to hearing about the great places and experiences you will have and the amazing things that I have no doubt you'll accomplish. Congratulations and nothing but the best to every single member of the class of 2021. Now I present to you our alma mater, On Burlington, performed by the seniors of the Chamber Singers and conducted by senior drum major Ethan Sear. I now would like to introduce to you the president of the class of 2021, Sydney A. Hovass.
Fellow graduates, finally we have made it. I would not say that we got the typical "I blinked and high school was over" experience because it did not quite follow the natural order of things. However, that does not mean it was all bad. I think it is important to take time and reflect on high school as a whole. So sit back and enjoy this rather rocky trip down memory lane. After a summer dominated by nerves and anticipation, freshman year promptly began in the fall of 2017. Right off the bat, our lives were filled to the brim with firsts. We were late to class because we were either totally lost or had a devastating commute between the gym and history hall. We tried out for sports regardless of experience, filling up freshman, JV, and varsity teams. We happily let upperclassmen convince us to join a million clubs at the activities fair, allowing us to meet so many new people. We had our first performances in band, chorus, and theater, and our first semi-formal dance. Our confidence was budding in all aspects of life. Even if we had no clue what was going on, we acted like we did, which made us weirdly prepared for any challenges the year posed. Sophomore year allowed for the implementation of some of our newfound skills. We signed up for challenging classes, some especially ambitious people even taking their first of many APs. The driver's licenses started trickling in, coupled with confident sophomores swinging their lanyards around the hallway and parking atrociously in the student parking lot. We started coming into our own in athletics and really finding what we were good at. We performed in Mamma Mia, countless football games, competitions, and concerts. We got into NHS, had our final semi, our first and last fashion show, and booked a prom location at the Marriott Long Wharf. We were finally getting more comfortable with the things high school was offering, adding more and more onto our plates by the month. And, crazily enough, it was the only full normal year of high school we would ever come to know. Now comes junior year, the year of both tapped and untapped potential. We finally made it to upperclassmen status, and were eager to exhibit our talents more than ever before. The thought of college loomed over, and we prepped for and completed SATs and ACTs. Schedules this year were filled with classes more closely tailored to prospective majors. We wore white at the pep rally, crushed it at the lip sync battle, and totally dominated in our fall and winter sports. However, when we left school on one mid-March Friday, the course of everything changed. While the disruption of our junior year due to a global pandemic was probably the last thing we could have ever predicted, we continued to stay connected to our classmates and teachers from a distance. The fated Google Meet was introduced, as well as a new schedule that was much more sparse than we were used to. Like every year before, we accepted each challenge thrown our way and ultimately got through the year pretty much unscathed. Senior year, one that none of us will likely recall with much fondness, yet it is still truly one for the books. Our grade was quite literally divided between 3 distinct cohorts, a word I'm sure you're beyond sick of by now. Screen time skyrocketed as some of us opted to stay fully remote while others followed a hybrid schedule. Rolling out of bed at 8:44 to tune into your 8:45 remote class rather than waking up every day to prepare for a full day of school is a lifestyle change nobody could have anticipated. While navigating these alterations, we began applying to colleges, yielding both great success and inevitable disappointment. We began the year with cautiously modified sports and activities that gained more and more freedom with time, creating a glimmer of normalcy in an otherwise abnormal period. And as all of this progressed, we fought senioritis and online school burnout. I would not say it was a graceful battle, but a valiant effort nonetheless. We are the graduating class of test monkeys. Park, Chromebooks, new schedules and start times, fully remote and hybrid school. I'm sure you can think of many more examples. While these changes may have proved difficult at the time, I believe it is reflective of the general attitude of our class. We are strong, we are resilient, we are adaptable. I know this sounds generic as anything, but it is absolutely true. A generation of kids defined and confined by what we did not have will undoubtedly grow into an inspired generation of adults who are equipped to handle any curveball that life throws at us. And with that, class of 2021, it's time to start swinging. Thank you.
Thank you, Sydney. It is now my distinct honor to present our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Eric Conti.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here this morning. I'd like to begin by recognizing and welcoming members of the Burlington School Committee, the parents and family members who are here today, and especially the class of 2021. I also wanted to recognize the Burlington High School custodial and maintenance staff and the park and recreation staff for their hard work setting up for today and for keeping the building sanitized throughout the year, as well as the support staff across the district who make sure all the details get completed every day. This past year Everyone has done incredible work to keep our schools open for in-person learning, so thank you all. My traditional graduation remarks always attempt to have the themes of gratitude and service interwoven throughout to highlight the many people who have contributed to your destination today. This year, however, has been anything but typical. We are incredibly proud of you and how you all handled yourselves in response to a constantly changing landscape of pandemic guidelines. The support you provided each other and the leadership you demonstrated to those in need is truly impressive. There were countless examples of behaviors that should make everyone in the Burlington community proud. I, for one, am certainly impressed with this class and know that you have all accepted the modifications of some of the most traditional parts of your junior and senior years and made them memorable, despite the modifications. Because of the pandemic, you have all been tested. You will not have to imagine how you will act in a crisis, as you have all experienced one firsthand and proven yourselves capable of accomplishing great things. I have no doubt, given how you all came together during the health crisis, that you will all come together to solve future unknown problems and the historic challenges that adults like me have failed to solve due to our inaction. Your class gift to adults, to all of us, is hope. I can think of no better legacy during these challenging times. Some of your classmates are choosing to serve us all immediately after graduation. So I want to acknowledge Avnish Prashant Ranbatkar. If he could stand, please. Avnish will be attending the Air Force Academy in the fall. And then Elliot King, who graduated early in January and is already enlisted in the Marines. So thank you, Elliot. As you all leave Burlington High School, wherever you are headed, please remember to thank those who have supported you along the way. There are many anonymous people and businesses in Burlington who support the school district and the opportunities you have all had the chance to experience, even those with no direct connection to our schools. Also, your teachers, preschool through senior year, all have worked tirelessly to arm you with the ability to think independently and to better serve the constantly changing world. Their incredible talents have never been more needed and on display than this year. Please make time to thank them. Finally, and most importantly, your parents and guardians. I'll never be able to capture all that your parents and guardians have given to you and will continue to provide. Please make time to thank them. In closing, I will leave you with these words from James Baldwin, a 20th century novelist, playwright, and activist. And I quote, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." End quote. You have all faced adversity and have demonstrated the resilience to thrive. Congratulations and best of luck to the class of 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Conti. It's now my pleasure to present to you Burlington School Committee Chair, Mr. Thomas Murphy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Conti, Mr. Sullivan, graduating seniors, parents, families, and friends. It's an honor being here today with all of you to share in this very special celebration. Before I begin, I would like to take a minute to thank Principal Mark Sullivan and the administration and staff at the high school for doing another wonderful job in organizing all of the events that the seniors have been attending over these past few weeks, especially today's graduation ceremony. As usual, they've done an outstanding job. Now for the graduates. Today marks the end of a 13-year journey through our education system. The last year or so which have involved some extraordinary challenges. I'm sure there have been COVID-related frustrations and disappointments this past year, but I'm confident that it has also taught you to be resilient and you've gained valuable experience in dealing with unexpected twists and turns that life will inevitably throw at you. You will leave today as young adults, ready to go out and make your way in the world. However, graduation is not only a time to look forward, it's a time to look back and reflect on what has taken place in your lives up until now. So before you leave, I would like you to take a moment to remind you where your journey began and to encourage you to always remember the people who have helped you along the way. I have had the privilege of participating in a number of graduation ceremonies since I've been on the school committee, and in each one I've always taken the opportunity to urge the graduates to recognize and appreciate all that has been done for them over the years. First and foremost are the efforts and contributions of your parents and your families. As you get a little bit older, start having families of your own, you will come to understand all that they have done for you and the sacrifices that they have made. And while these last 13 years might have seemed to take a long time coming for all of you, I can guarantee you it's going by in a blink of an eye for your families. I also assure that the pride that each of them feels in watching you watch across the stage to get your diploma, and the amazement that they feel watching all of you transform to kindergartners getting onto your first bus 13 short years ago, to the young adults that they see today, is indescribable to them. So just remember, they have worked hard to get you to this point in your lives, and this is also a very special day for them. So be patient as they give you one more hug or ask you for one more picture, and make sure that you take the time at some point today to thank them for all that they have done for you. I would also like to encourage you to remember the other people who have helped you over the years. I am somewhat prejudiced. I have lived in Burlington my whole life, but I feel that you are very lucky to have grown up here. It's a great town filled with wonderful people who are always willing to give their time. As you look out over the crowd of people here to watch today, you will see your school teachers, your youth sport coaches, your troop leaders, your dance teachers, your music instructors, and all the other volunteers from the myriad of activities that you have participated in over the years in Burlington. Burlington is a special place because there is never any shortage of people willing to volunteer. All of you here today have benefited from their efforts. It is because of their efforts of these people, Burlington is a community and not just a place to live. I hope that as you get older, you will remember these people and follow their examples by getting similarly involved in whatever town you happen to settle in. Coach a team, get involved in a civic group, run for public office, do something to show that you appreciate all that has been done for you, and you will in turn make your community a better place to live. If you do that, you'll always have a piece of Burlington with you no matter where you might go. And lastly, I want to wish all of you the best of luck as you move on with your lives. Many of you will be going to college, some will be going into the military or the workforce, but no matter what path you choose, it will certainly bring many curves. None of you can know all of the twists and turns that life will bring you, but I am certain and I'm confident that the education that you have received over the past 13 years and the guidance and assistance that you have received from all of the important people in your lives has resulted in the development of a strong set of ideals in each one of you. If you use those ideals to guide you through your lives, I know you will lead happy and fulfilling lives and you'll become productive and responsible citizens. So on behalf of the Burlington School Committee, I offer my congratulations to all the graduates and their families, and I wish all of you the best of luck in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. It's now my privilege to present to you the class of 2021 valedictorian, Matthew Masahiro Tengjakul.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Good afternoon, faculty, parents, friends, and family. It is an honor for me to speak today as our class's valedictorian, and I am so happy to see everyone here together for once. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to take this opportunity to take a class selfie. Give me one moment here. Let's see if we can fit everyone in. We'll go right side. Ready? Left side. All right. Awesome, thank you. And while this is our graduation, I'd like to reiterate what others have said. It's also a big day for parents and family. It'd be great if you guys can give a big hug and thank you to your parents. After spending 4 years with you all, I do feel for some of them. As for myself, I thank my parents for putting up with me all these years. Truly, I am eternally grateful for your relentless support and dedication. All of the packed school lunches, the cheering at my games, the sacrifices that you guys have made in order for me to realize my dreams. To my family in the audience, my grandparents, you have never ceased to inspire me with an innate resilience and tenacity. To my grandparents from Japan who have passed, I know that you guys are watching today, and I hope to make you proud with an abundant legacy. Huge shout out to my dog Petey, who is not allowed to come today because he's a loud little fella, but I know that he's cheering for me at home. And to the countless teachers, coaches, and mentors throughout my educational career, I'm forever indebted. You have empowered and emboldened the person that I am today. Finally, to my friends and peers, class of 2021, the rest of my speech is dedicated to you. Today marks the definitive end of one chapter and thus the commencement of another. Though keep in mind that the next chapter is yet to be written, and we as a whole will determine whether the story of our lives will be the next bestseller. It is important to acknowledge that your position today does not define what you can become. It is a scale, direction, and potential relative to where you started. That's a little physics analogy, complimentary of Dr. J. It's actually a rare opportunity to be sharing the stage with some of my good friends. Jonathan, Allison, and I wanted to celebrate this moment and try to unify our speeches through the lens of Newton's 3 laws of motion. Newton stated that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. No matter your current status, those who fuel validation are pushing against the wall, and those who internalize action will triumph, because complacency kills dreams. So today, we celebrate because we've all made it to this momentous moment in our lives. But we are all a work in progress. For those unhappy or unsatiated with their time here, use this as a clean slate, a new start to prove yourself. Be a bootstrapper, a nonconformist, and mold your definition of success. The past is all but practice. It seems like just a few years ago that I was sitting at Fox Hill learning about fossils, the layers of the earth, past presents, and world wars. We held some revolutions of our own at the lunch table, and a few of the greatest moments transpired through a serendipity of recess. I remember the group projects, the invention convention, the trips to the zoo, and the planetarium. The world seemed so small back then. The faces, fresh and vibrant. The night sky so close that we could grab some of the stars. Nevertheless, life and maturation are a series of disillusionment and peculiar challenges. This year, more than ever, we have learned that the world we live in is not idyllic, and the people that we look up to are not perfect. It is easy to fall into the mirage of money and power, yet in living a purposeful life, never forget the feelings of creative liberty, the days of recess and relativity, the youthful innocence, the humble awe, unbridled hope, self-reliance, the curiosity. One thing that I've always loved to do is to travel, and growing up, I was fortunate enough to visit remote places in the world, whether it's safari riding through Zimbabwe, scuba diving in the Great Barrier Reef, or climbing Machu Picchu. But one memory in particular stands out most to me. 3 years ago, I visited the Amazon rainforest and stayed deep in a secluded village more than 2 hours by boat. Walking around and getting to know the local people, I was surprised by how happy they were, despite the primitive living conditions and limited resources. I met kids skinning and gutting catfish that they recently caught out of the river, laughing and smiling as they offered me some. In return, I brought along with me school supplies and clothes to give out, and as cliche as it may sound, it really changed my worldview to see their eyes light up when I gave them a pencil and their pure joy of drawing in a notebook. What I learned in life is that life and the pursuit of happiness are simple. Joy comes from fulfillment of helping others, so let us all make this world a better place. Our world is flowing with endless cultural exploration and ubiquitous opportunities for conversation, and we, class of 2021, are a pack of protagonists, unique and ambitious individuals, each manifesting immense narratives. I wish us all brightened horizons and boundless exploration, the aesthetics of the world and the profoundness of the people in it. But I ask that you never forget where we came from. We came from here, the town of Friday night lights and Saturday morning NASBA practices, the mortared brick walls, the Chromebooks, lasted numbers, and pep rallies. And that is beautiful. That is irreplaceable. So now, in some of our final moments as a whole class, I ask that you look to your left and to your right, peers, friends, some of whom you know well or are just realizing existed. Remember them and the culmination of passing perspectives, not as a fleeting moment of regret and remorse, but one of optimism in these smiling faces. That feeling of, you know what, we're all going to turn out all right after all. So, class of 2021, have a great time, stay in touch, dream big, dream boldly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew. It's now my honor to introduce to you the class of 2021 Salutatorian, Allison Maria Irwin.
It's nice when I'm sitting behind the chair, hiding behind the podium. It's a lot scarier when I'm standing up here and I can see everyone, so bear with me. Good afternoon. Matt already went through all the introductions, but obviously I'd like to thank my parents and my grandpa who couldn't be here because this is all he ever wanted to see me graduate, so I'm sure he's pretty proud. And to my grandparents in the audience and my cousin and all the staff, the best teachers, best people I've ever met sitting over there, so I just want to thank everyone. And yeah, now we'll get into the whole Newton's 3 Laws themed speech. I'm addressing the laws out of order, obviously, so I'm starting with the first law now. The law of inertia. As many of us have heard in the past, Newton claimed that a body at rest will stay at rest, and a body in motion will stay in constant motion unless acted upon by an outside force. After staring at a blank dock for far too many minutes, trying to figure out how we all fit into this principle, I discovered just the place. There's a gray area in between these states of constant motion and rest, a place where we can be subjected to every external force imaginable, yet we still remain in motion. Now, this motion may not be constant or in the same direction, but we keep going. As members of the class of 2021, this persistence during times of every inconsistency possible has come to be all we know. Up until this day, our lives have been a whirlwind of external forces and change. We came into the world at a time when Mark Zuckerberg was just a kid with a laptop in a dorm room, climate change was a whisper among scientists, and the peak of technological status is owning a BlackBerry. Today, climate activists have a seat at almost every diplomatic meeting, blackberries have regained their primary position as a fruit, and Mark Zuckerberg will probably be in your dorm room, watching you through the other side of your screen. As we trekked through approximately 6,500 days of the process that we call growing up, we felt some forces push us forward. The honor of a smiley face or golden star sticker on our times table sheets compelled us to continue excelling. The little spacebar games in between iReady levels kept us from dragging our feet through the exams. The pride of winning a match in the middle school volleyball tournaments enhanced our spirits. And no matter who we are or what we've been through, at one point we felt the warmth of genuine friendship, and it's reassured us that perhaps the world is a good place filled with good people. Growing up wasn't all pushes. There were many times where we were pulled back. We felt the pain of the razor scooter hitting our Achilles tendon, the force of a silly band snapping on our wrist, and the fear of scrambling to find 3 quarters before the Abadi brunch we all forgot about. Over time, these forces got stronger. We felt the shame of failing our first test, the regret of parting ways with close friends, and the sorrow of losing family members. With forces of increasing strength mounting, we followed the trend. We learned who to turn to while in despair, which songs helped cheer us up the most, and began to fill in the gaps of our identity with the triumphs and defeats that we've overcome. As we reflect on our time at BHS, it's no secret that we got hit with some unexpected pushes and pulls. We remember when the unstoppable force of PDF worksheets met the immovable object of our Chromebooks. We remember the brutal pull of gravity as we trekked from gym class to history in under 3 minutes every day. And of course, we remember March 13th, 2020, the day where everything we knew about our lives was pulled away right before our eyes. Although we didn't know it at the time, for the next year, there'd be no more hard deadlines, sharing snacks during long block, random screams in the library in the mornings, or even visible smiles. There'd be no more givens and all unknowns. Today's June 6th, 2021. If you're here, you or someone you know or care about is sitting here wearing a cap and gown because none of that mattered. Despite all of those painful, resistant pushes and pulls, for the last 15 months, we've kept going, and we've ended up here today. And being here today is quite important. This is by no means a small place in the world, a small moment in time, or a small ripple in our waves of life. This is something to be really proud of. We don't know what forces will hit us next. We don't know what direction they'll send us in, how quickly we'll move with them, or when they'll find us. All that we do know is that we'll stay in motion, just as we always have, and that's all we need to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison. It's now my honor to introduce to you the class of 2021 class essayist, Jonathan Albin Wolinski.
Good afternoon, friends, family, teachers, and students. As we sit here reflecting on the past 4 years of our lives while simultaneously looking eagerly towards the future, I first offer nothing less than my sincerest congratulations. It is your hard work, perseverance, determination, and dedication that is what has brought us all to this point in our lives. So thank you. Thank you for striving to succeed every day, for pursuing excellence in all that you undertake, and for helping to create lifelong memories for every single one of us. And teachers, administrators, friends, and family, thank you so much for your continued and boundless patience, support, expertise, and understanding. It is truly people like you that move society and humanity forward. So where do we go from here? As we step out of the gates of Varsity Field, drive up the driveway onto Cambridge Street one last time, and slowly begin the new chapter of our lives, what should we be thinking about? How should we be preparing for what lies ahead? Well, one thing's for sure, we should be ready for change. Some change comes naturally, of course, from external factors we cannot sway, like developing a new lifestyle for college or work, or moving to a new location. But what about the real change? The change, like in that philosophical cliche we always hear about, that comes from within. Well, in order to change anything about our lives, we need to do work, and it takes effort. Work, both physically and literally, is defined by the accumulation of forces that we must carry out. So, if we want these forces, and by extension changes, to be worthwhile or impactful, we need focus. We first need to focus on changing small aspects of our lives. Why the small aspects? Well, sticking with the trend of Newton's laws, Newton famously stated that when a force is applied on an object, that object accelerates. Its motion changes. Simple enough. And here's the key part. When that force is held constant, the magnitude of that acceleration that we see is determined by the object's mass. We can actually apply this principle to our own everyday lives. You see, when a force acts on a small thing, the acceleration or the change is great. Conversely, when that same force is enacted upon a massive thing, the acceleration or the change is very little. So, whenever we go about seeking change in our own lives, the first thing we have to decide is what we are trying to change. So why start with something big? If you work to try to immediately change big aspects of your life, the results will likely be slow going and unrewarding. Instead, focus and devote that force to one small thing in particular. Apply the same amount of effort as before, and the results will be much more significant. You'll be in a position of success, eagerly looking for more opportunities. Looking back throughout high school and academics in general, adopting this mindset proved to be valuable. Instead of making statements like, I want to get good grades, or I want to be a good student, it was more helpful to go about it with a more focused and specific purpose and attitude. For example, thinking, I want to work hard to understand this specific math problem, or I want to make a genuine contribution to my class discussion today. Although the aforementioned specific goals and statements are certainly smaller, they do play an integral role in achieving the bigger goals of academic success as well as existing in a much more rewarding manner. And this mindset works in almost any setting too, and not exclusively in school. For example, instead of assuming attitudes like, I want to be happy, or I want to be a good person, you should try to narrow it down. Choose to pursue more specific things that will one day accumulate to great change. Say things like, I want to cherish tomorrow and spend the day with my family, or I want to seek reconciliation with someone I've had a falling out with. You'll likely find that these sorts of goals will be a much more rewarding experience. And I'm also not calling for the all-out eradication of standalone long-term goals. They certainly hold value, meaning, and purpose to many. All I'm saying is this: whenever possible, why not try to break down a big goal into smaller, more rewarding segments? And these are just my personal thoughts. I hope that these last 4 years have been a meaningful experience for you too. I hope that you all have takeaways and experiences that you will remember for hopefully the rest of your lives, because it's during these formative years of our lives that we begin to develop a sense of who we are and what we care about. I sincerely hope that each of you has a slightly improved outlook on life moving forward as a result of our time in high school. And I wish you all the best of luck in the future. Everyone here, seriously, thank you for everything.
Thank you, Jonathan. At this point, it is with great pleasure that we begin the presentation of diplomas to the class of 2021. Sydney Hovass. Matthew Masahiro Tengdakul. Allison Irwin. Jonathan Albin Wolinski. Nicholas Richard Abreu. Mitchell Joseph Adamson. Donia Marie Afshar. Eljon Patrick Agojo. Haroon Ahmed. Sami Ahmed. Sarah Elizabeth Almonte. Jonathan Mark Arkelis. Maham Arshad. Jolie Dina Atwood. Ahmed Ali Beige. Nathan P. Bailey. Stephen Michael Bailey. Justin Anthony Barros. Jack Michael Barnstein. Natalie Bernadine Barucci. Asa Benhita. Annika Sushil Baraton. Caitlin E. Bodie. Madison Marie Bogie. Ashley Ann Bonetti. Shannon Elizabeth Borby. Brian Vincent Botiglio. Marie Chenoweth Taylor Belanger. Hannah Boulos. Mia Nicole Burris. Liam Brown. Colin James Brown. Aiden Taylor Kane. Matthews Caligari. Marina Lee Callahan. Alana Calloway. Cole Andrew Capabianco. Sarah Michelle Capabianco. Kevin John Carnes. Griffin Joseph Carter. Adrian Benjamin Chelik. Nicholas Paul Cervoni. Adam J. Kabuzi Lukey. Tanner Quinn Cody. Gilly Cohen. Brendan Christopher Conley. Waturu Joseph Coram. Violet Corcoran. Richard Lewis Cromwell. Alex Crockett Crow. Caroline McKenna Curtin. Paul Christopher Duramo. Anthony Robert D'Alessio. Ashley Marie Davidson. Cora Elizabeth Davison. Tyler Francisco DeFreitas. Joshua Michael Jerome Taylor. Connor James Desmond. Marissa Maria DeFonte. Matthew Vincent DiRienzo. Madison Nicole Doherty. David William Downey. Douglas A. Edwards. Megan Page Flett. Elizabeth Tina Forbush. Emily Joy Ford. Joseph Tyler Fournier. William Franz. Natalie Blake Fraser. Cole Michael Frieden. Kaylee Marie Frieden. Liam R. Gaffney. Lorraine Mary Galliero. Vivian Betty Gale. Isabel Rose Gallagher. Dylan Michael Garvey. John Ransom Giles. Elizabeth Alexandra Gillespie. Paige Elizabeth Giordano. Madeline Grace Goultz. Justin Tyler Grace. Charles W. Groton. Sophia Marie Grinnell. Vaishnavi Gudala. Finian C. John Gunther. Badra Hakim. Alexia Julia Hamilton. Rose M. Hannafin. Tanya Hossein. Syed Georgish Hussein. Allison Lauren Illage. Marin Rachel James. Jack Robert J. Mitch Christopher Josine. Jeffin Joby. Niha Elizabeth Joby. Alexander J. Johnson. James Michael Johnson. Shannon Page Joyce. Ari Karampeckios. Nadia N. Casozi. Alexander William Keene. Nolan Park Kelleher. Aina Ashraf Khalifa. Anas Mahmad Sadiq Khalifa. Nazia Khalifa. Samaha Khan. Owen Andrew Kim. Marwan Ali Kiswani. Genevieve Kuganza. Nathan Roy Queasy. Jack G. Laverty. Max Nicholas Leshner. Isabella Lynn Locicero. Anthony Joseph Luminello. Jennifer Ann Lynch. Dalton James McKinnon. Raymond Spencer Magliozzi. Michael Thomas Magnarelli. Kevin Gerard Mahoney. Sean Michael Malone. Alexander James Monetta. Julie Melanie Margalit. Emma Colleen Martinage. Jose Antonio Mas Juarez. Samantha Jean Matai. Aria Hope Mather. Carly Nicole Matson. Connor Joseph McCabe. Shannon Allison McDonald. Ryan Duncan McGilvery. Sean Donald McLaughlin. Colleen Michelle McMakin. Alexa Meehan. Angela Moline. Rashad Lawson Misnawi. Samantha Grace Mira. Joseph J. Mitchell. Daniela Angela Malika. Sigfi Asani Moody. Sarah Madeline Maroney. Abraham K. Mudula. Jonathan K. Mulira. Heather Ashley Murphy. Megan Tobin Murphy. Brian David Murray. Duncan Meyer. Joseph Nee. John Paul Joseph Namoda. Benicio Newman. Kaylin Julia Nobrega. Cameron Brady Noonan. Jason Joel Natua. Edgar O. Zakoba. Brian Richard O'Neill. Maya Nitin Pandit. Nidhi Ashri Kavitha Parthasarthi. Meet Piyush Kumar Patel. Sydney Rose Pavo. Nicholas John Pellegrino. John Peluso. Joseph A. Perna. John Oscar Peterson. Ava Christine Petrone. Stephanie Floridis. Colby Thomas Paget. Matthew Mark Pinkham. Sean David Pinkham. Chloe Vivian Poles. Thomas J. Porter. Sarah Catherine Pottle. Jody Quinn Princiata. Casey Francesca Pustisi. Nicholas David Pye. Adam Ali Rabani. Devin Ray Ralston. Caitlin Chloe Reed. Avnish Prashant Rambathkar. Samantha Dorothy Reynolds. Shay Brianna Riley. Jane Romano. Michael Romulus. McKenna Elizabeth Rousseau. Justin Michael Sacca. Kayla Blossom Santiano. Joseph Anthony Scally. Rachel Emily Schlansky. Allison Mary Shriata. Sean Michael Scott. Ethan Henry Sear. Winnie Natimba Sasha. Prapti Shah. Aman Ilyas Sheikh. Sarah Ilyas Sheikh. Nora Margaret Shea. Christina Marie Sheldon. Sydney A. Shinopoulos. Anshul P. Shrude. Cameron John Soda. Zachary William Soda. Connor Michael Souza. Constantine Gregory Splagunius. Hirschfield Connor Sozi. Emma Marie Stack. Yanni Stefanidis. Ishan Suhail. Demetrius Jason Silvert. Sean Thurer. Daniel Carl Thornell. Riley Valentina Thornell. Eva Clara Tibbetts. Sarah Marie Tierney. Ryan Thomas Tigas. Michelini Bella Tirabassi. Joseph Daniel Tribuco. Shashank Bopanda Uthapa. Sophia Elizabeth Viglione. Isabella Ann Vigliotta. Nicholas Paul Virgin. Jensine Anna Isa Amor Wagner. Madison Lee Wareham. Cheyenne Watson Young. Tanya N. Wiedek. Ava Juliana Webb. Tyler Williams. Gavin R.J. Wong. Catherine Elizabeth Woodilla. Nolan Matthew Woods. Alvin Emmanuel Yarrow. Sharon Zoe. Congratulations again to the class of 2021. I'd like to now bring back up the class president, Sydney Hovass.
Could the class of 2021 please rise so we can move our tassels from the right to the left? So everyone follow me. All right, here we go. Congratulations.